Are you holding on to guilt? When we do this, we don't open ourselves to receive because unconsciously we feel unworthy. We feel that we don't deserve. So we're going to start auto-sabotaging ourselves. So we have to be aware if we're holding on to guilt because it's really not useful. It's not helpful for us or for anybody else. And I'm going to talk in this video about 4 types of guilt and what to do with those types. So the first one is the one that we really know. When we do something bad, when we do something wrong, when we hurt somebody else, when we make a mistake, when we forget to do something, we feel guilty. So what's going on with this guilt? This guilt is telling us you made a mistake, you hurt somebody else. So sometimes we just feel guilty and we feel miserable and we go to the part of us being a bad person. We're a bad person. We're terrible. Why did I mess this up? And we start doing this dialogue that's really very harmful to ourselves. So what we need to do is to connect to this guilt and say, you're letting me know that I made a mistake, that I hurt somebody else, that I should have done something different. Thank you for letting me know. I'm going to learn. I'm going to repair this. I'm going to say that I'm sorry. I'm going to do something different next time. Thank you for letting me know that this happened, that this is important, that there were different ways of approaching this. I did the best that I could, and I was doing the best that I could at that moment. I'm always doing the best that I can. So I'm going to be loving to myself and gentle. And now that I'm aware of this, now that I can say I'm sorry to whoever I hurt, now that I can repair, now that I can learn, I can release this guilt because that's the point of the guilt, to help us become better so that we don't make this mistake again. So that's the first kind of guilt. The second one is the guilt that we can be carrying for our ancestors. So this is a difficult emotion that often our ancestors were not able to let go. And if we're carrying that emotion for them, we're going to have a hard time to release that in our lives. We're going to feel guilty from the little things that we do. We're going to be overwhelmed with this guilt. So if that's the case, then it's important to honor and respect these ancestors that struggled with the guilt and to release the part that is not ours. And this is a lot of the work that we do in family constellations. So that is the second kind of guilt, the guilt that we're carrying for our ancestors. The third kind of guilt is the guilt that we feel when we're separating ourselves from a group. So this guilt is the guilt that kept us alive when we were young, when we didn't want to separate from our system, because that meant that we could die. We wanted to belong, we want to be part of the group in order to survive, in order for them to take care of us and for us to survive. So we want to be like them. And when we start growing up, when we start to be more independent, we're going to start to do things differently. And we're going to feel guilty. So when we're very young, we have to do things the way of the system, the way our parents want us to do things. Because we want to belong, we want to be accepted, we want to be taken care of, we want to survive. But once we grow up, we can do things differently because we're now responsible for ourselves. Our parents are not responsible for ourselves anymore. If we are adults, we are the ones responsible for ourselves. So we might want to do things different. Maybe we want to do things the same way. But when we want to do things in a different way, we're going to feel guilty. And this is the guilt that helped us survive when we were young. So we need to look at this guilt and say, thank you. You kept me alive. But I'm not a little girl anymore. I'm not a little boy anymore. I am now releasing this guilt because it's not necessary for me anymore. I'm not dependent on the system for my survival. I am now responsible for myself. So I'm going to make the decisions that I think that are best for myself. Even if my parents disagree, even if somebody close to me disagrees, because I think that this is the best. And we're going to feel this when we're separating from a group, when we're doing something different from a group where we belong. So sometimes The group could be our work. And if we're very united with the people, we're very close to them from the people that we work with, when we have a different offer, when we want to start doing something else, we're going to feel guilty that we're leaving them, that they're separating from them. And again, it's just this guilt that helped us survive when we were young, that is telling us, are you safe separating from this group? Maybe it's from our group of friends that we now think in a different way. So notice when you're starting to do things different. Sometimes you might think that it's wrong because of this guilt, but it's not that you're doing things wrong. It's just that you're doing them in a different way from the system that you are belonging to. So look at that guilt and say thank you for helping you survive in the past, that right now you don't need that help anymore because now you're responsible for your life, and release that guilt. So that is the third guilt. That is the guilt that kept us alive when we were small children and we needed to belong. We needed to be part of the system to survive. And the fourth type of guilt is the survival guilt. So when there has been a war, we have learned that the ones that survive sometimes are having struggled with this guilt. They feel bad for all the ones that were not able to survive. They're depressed. They're not able to move on with their lives. They're not able to enjoy their lives, even though they are alive. For that feeling of guilt, for all that they experienced because of the ones that were not able to survive. We sometimes experience that, for example, if we are in an accident, in a car accident, and somebody was not able to survive in that car accident, and we did. We experience that as well when we have a sibling that maybe passed away before us. Maybe it was a miscarriage, maybe it was an abortion from our parents. But this is unconscious when this is happening with a sibling. Most of the time that this happens, doesn't happen all the time, but most of the time it's completely unconscious. And we feel that we don't deserve to live when somebody so close to us didn't. We don't open up to everything that life can give to us because we feel bad that somebody so close to us didn't. And it happens as well when there's a lot of suffering in the family system. When there has been a lot of suffering in the family system, we also feel that we should suffer like them. Why should we do better? So in this case, we need to understand that that's the guilt that we're feeling. And what we need to do is the opposite. We have this gift of life that others didn't have for whatever reason. This is not our fault. We don't control something as big as life and death. It's not our decision. That's something deeper that we need to respect and accept. So if somebody close to us was not able to live in whatever situation, or if there was a lot of suffering in the family system, what we need to do is to decide to enjoy our life to the fullest, to do it for them because they were not able to do it for them so that their suffering is not in vain. So we actually need to do the opposite. We need to live our life in every single second with the whole vibration of life instead of staying stuck and suffering like the others. And this is a gift for us, this is a gift for them. Because through this energy of life, through this connection of life, they also get this connection of life, this peace, this vibration of love. So it's a gift for us, it's a gift for the others that were not able to continue to be here today like we are. So these are the 4 types of guilt that I wanted to share with you today, so that you start to recognize them in your life, so that you start to say thank you, so that you start releasing them. Because when we're holding on to guilt, we are going to hold on to life and hold on from being able to enjoy it. We're going to auto-sabotage ourselves. We're going to get stuck in some areas. And just by acknowledging this, realizing this, it liberates us in ways that we never thought it was possible. So I hope this is helpful, and I hope that now you can enjoy more your life and every second of it, because it's really a beautiful gift that we have.